Hey, good morning, guys. How are you guys doing this morning? CEOs. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. I'm talking to the creators, entrepreneurs, and high level operators. Man, this morning, got the little 20-minute workout in, did my period of reflection, and sat with audiobook that I'm listening to. That's really tremendous. Definitely looking forward to today, which is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, to get into some things. And, I just had this feeling about, my gift, things that I'm working on, in my full time work that I do with the federal government, my work that I do learning consulting, as well as day trading. And on top of it, having my own business, me and my wife. I don't do it alone. I'm the brawn, she's the brain. She makes it happen, and I go out there and just support, support, support. I think it's awesome. But I oftentimes think about my gift and what I've been able to do for so many years as an adult. 57 years old now, soon to be 58, and I am definitely looking forward to turning another year here in 2025. But I feel like it's just pulling on me, telling me, like, come on, just, give it due. When I sit down, record my YouTube channel as CEO 369 Consulting, because I have a strong desire to make this dream possible, to make my desires happen, and letting things like my dream, those things that whisper in my ear when I'm sitting quietly meditating, the deep inside of me, that knowing that it wasn't meant to be held tightly. You know, some people have a dream, some people have a desire, some people have a purpose, but they hold on to it for fear that it won't be received. It won't, it's like a gift that you have. Sometimes as a young child, you may be given a gift for a party or whatever, but you don't feel like your gift is the most lavishing or the biggest or the brightest or whatever. But when you give it from a sincere heart, here's what happened. As they're going through all these gifts, if you're invited to a party, sometimes that gift that has true authenticity, true sincerity behind it, it is truly received the most, of time in our head. We take our dreams, our desires, and we lock it away with the what ifs. And or maybe one day, you'll do it. We have a lot of amazing things that we've either written down we wanted to do, or designs or products that we put in the garage or the closet, and like, I'll get around to it. But because I'm so busy with work, I'm so busy with my family life, you never take time for yourself. You know, what I want you to see is that your ability was never just yours. I mean, when that thought, that those words came out, they came out for a reason. They came out for you to give them to someone else. You think about, like, when you go to school or you're learning or you're being taught by your parents. If you have a grandson or a granddaughter, you teach them how to fix a car, mow the lawn, just doing simple things, folding laundry, washing dishes. It Those things were meant for a reason, because that's that person that you're instructing, you're sharing, you're giving your knowledge to, whatever it is meant to be taken. And once they receive it and make it their own, then that thing is taken with a purpose, because then they go, oh, I remember how my mom did this, my dad did this, my friend did this, my associate did this. You begin to understand how to do this. It's like myself learning how to day trade. I have to be patient. I have to have confidence. I have to have understanding that what took some people who are learning how to do it and have become successful in doing that, that it did take time, did take patience, and they may have suffered some losses, big or small, but soon they got it. It clicked. And once it clicked, you know, They took that with a mission and went probably far beyond those that taught them. You know, taking something, taken by something bigger than just making it day to day. You know, like those of us that have jobs that do work. When you wake up, sometimes, you know, you have to see it that it's bigger. They say that the things that, for most of us financially, for instance, what we have now, 100 years, 200 years ago, if you think about your ancestors or your elders, those things that we have now that we truly, if we understand it, back then, most of them did not have those means. I mean, they did whatever it took. They called it hustle. They called it getting out there and making a dime. You know, uh, uh, turning a dime, uh, making a dime out of, you know, making a dollar out of 15 cents. I guess that's what I should say. So today I want to talk about what happens when you let your ability be taken, when you release the fear of failure, when you stop negotiating with doubt, and when you say, here I am, take what I've got and let's build something beautiful. That's what we have to see. Funniest thing I start seeing, you know, and you guys know what's going on in the state of this world, the tariff wars that are going on between the many countries. Well, I saw something that was just very, very interesting. China, for instance, taking bags that I use bags because it's a tangible thing. Purses that women buy. I mean, upwards of like 30 some $1,000s on certain bags, or clothing like Levi's, or tennis shoes like Nike, or anything that you see as high value. 99.9% of those products, those goods, those services that are sold, guess what? They make them for like pennies on the dollars. They just have the raw materials. They know how to craft it and turn it into a beautiful thing. They give it off to Gucci, Chanel, all these other great, you know, companies out here. And to include like, you know, the merchandise that our current president has, Donald Trump. Put it out there in the market, pennies on the dollars for them. But then they turn around and they sell it to us for hundreds, thousands of dollars. And as consumers, we think that those things are so free. So what China decided to do, they start showcasing those items that takes them to make so cheaply, that's been negotiated by various members of countries. And that country, let's say if it's a product made by Prada, only thing that they do once they get those back, they just put their label on it. And then that purse is then taken and given over to the consumers. And same things that being made by Sheen or Timu or whatever that we find relatively cheap, that looks similar to the to the name brand, you know, big name companies. That thing is then just, you know, so cheap, more cheaper. And this over here, because it has that label of that designer on it, you'll pay thousands of dollars for it. And I'm just going like, man, what are we doing to ourselves? You know, that's what I mean by when I say, what does it mean to let your ability be taken? It doesn't mean, you know, that you surrender, but it's, you know, it's not that type of surrender that's given up. It's the kind of surrender that helps you basically to level up, really, when you truly think about it. You know, when you wake up in the morning, you have uh, the the desire, as to say, stay in bed, but you truly can just give up. Some people do give up, but a lot of times over our lives, we've been taught that we have to get up to do the things. I see myself as leveling up. Every time I get up, I do my 20-20-20 formula, take that time to get Chauncey in order, so that guess what? I can provide that gift that I have, that gift of service, that gift of putting a smile on my face so someone else smiles. You know, the gift of, guess what? To move forward. Uh, that's the best part about this, to move someone else into purpose. That's what I truly desire. Once we see that, to move the world a little more closer to healing, because I mean, I think saw a headline that talked about how Howard University stands to lose over well, didn't stand to lose, but those funds that they normally get from the government, about $2 billion over the course of years, those funds have been frozen due to the various things that are going on. You can read about it yourself. I'm not here to give, news drops or anything like that. I'm here to help people see that gift within inside themselves. That they can surely share. You know, maybe your gift might be your voice in storytelling or singing, like Nydia. She has just such a lovely, I call it the melody. As soon as I hear her videos, or Healthy Kitchen Wizard in her cooking, or Kuza, and all these different, because I like to eat people, the foodies that are out there, men and women who host sessions just to encourage, trying to help people build their subscribers to 1,000, helping them to monetize the different things that we do here on YouTube. You know, you have to understand that if you keep that voice to yourself because you thought nobody wanted to hear it, because life, it got loud and that dream of yours got quiet. But if you allow the ability to be taken into service, taken into creative work, taken into helping someone who, who is kind of like was in your spot 5 years ago, and you help them and nurture them and guide them, mentorship basically, and showing them what it was like for you at that time. That piece right there, more than anything really in this world, because that's what our gifts and our abilities are for, is to help that next person, your fellow member, within, guess what, YouTube, your personal life, and your professional life, and to help them grow into things. Sometimes, they say a guy used to, in another country, he used to plant trees like at the highest point of where his community was. And people are like, "Why are you planting trees so far up?" Right? Vegetable trees, fruit trees, and he was not like old, but he was an elder in the community, and he says, when these trees grow, I might not benefit from the fruit that they produce, but I'm thinking about generations when I'm gone. And that's sometimes what we have to do. We have to share our gifts now so that generations from now, some that are your babies, some that are your grandchildren, yet to be born, when they come forward, this video right here could be received, short term, intermediate, and long term goals. If you put them into practice now, guess what? You may still benefit from them down the road. And that's what I love about YouTube. My microphone, you know, the views that I get, the likes that I get, I would actually ask you, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, you know, hit the subscribe button and just share it abroad. Plant the seed. We're right now in that time period, that spring season, where the ground is softening up. People out there doing their yards, planting their gardens, planning for, that summer bod vacation. I was thinking about our vacation. I'm gonna talk with my friends and family members. Like, remember this vacation that we did, and think about what we want to do this year. When you sit down, uh, here's the thing. This is what I've started to see about YouTube. We never had a platform like YouTube before. I mean, some of the baby boomers, not baby boomers, some of the millennials may have seen it always, as well as Gen Xers, and they know how to use it. But when you talk about the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, silent generation, all those guys before, technology wasn't as vast and wise as it is. So YouTube is more than just to be seen. It's a place where we come to serve and where we communicate. Anytime you talk about something, you're being of service. And hopefully it's good stuff. It's not something negative. But what you do, you get on your camera, you speak, you teach, you tell a story. And then when you hit that upload button, guess what happened? Someone that might be on the West Coast, California, somewhere in the mountain time zone, like Denver, some people in the Midwest, like the STL, St. Louis, my man Terry, who does an awesome pick three system that I'm working on learning because, like you say again, when you learn system, you make that money. And he has a phenomenal thing all the way over into other countries, whether it's in Nigeria, it's over in Europe and London, where Akuza's kitchen. She does some great stuff, as well as Tokyo, around the world. Your video goes boom. You hit upload and it's gone. And it taps into someone, it helps them. What we don't always realize is that every video, every story, every shared truth is like a digital spark. When you're out there camping, you're trying to get that spark going. You know what I'm saying? And that spark creates a fire. Now, that fire warms people. The fire also lights a path. That fire changes the landscape. This we all need a spark on our current landscape of what's going on in this world. We truly need to see all the events that are taking place and how we can make them better. Whether you're in Europe, whether you're up in Canada, whether you're here in the United States, whether you're over in Japan or in China or in Africa, around the world, YouTube gives you a way to let your ability go. You know, that which is inside of you, to send it into the world and to let it touch strangers. Those people that you've grown your tribe or your community with, those that you may not ever even seen, you know, who are really just undiscovered members in this YouTube community. YouTube as a tool is for encouragement. We're not just here to consume. We're here to build each other up. That's what I say. Encouragement is the oxygen for your soul. And with YouTube, you can be someone's reminder that guess what? You're not too old. That it's not too late. That your story still matters, and that actually sometimes those wounds, those scars, are actually instructions for someone else. That's what I feel. I hope that this is resonating with you. Like I say again, I get up in the morning at 5 a.m. So you gonna catch me in my sweats, and I try not to be sweaty on here, but you're gonna see me in my true fashion when I get up early in the morning. Each video is a chance to say I've been there. Not just I've been there and I've done that. You know, here's what I learned. You're sharing your knowledge with the people. Here's how you can move forward too. Also in your life. That's encouragement. That's purpose. That's legacy in motion. You want to be making these things happen, because like I say again, some people stay in bed until like 7, 8 o'clock, even 8:30. Got to be at work at 9, and then they'll scramble and get going. But they don't take time out to get those, movement in their body and their mindset, that psychology, your heart set, checking your emotions, your health set, letting that physical you take shape, and then your soul set, where your spirit begins to align with all the other, those four pillars. Along with that, what I add is my three secret ingredients, my three pillars, which is I honor myself, I love myself, and I respect myself, so I can give that freely to you guys. If I don't come with it, This masterpiece that I have, CEO 369 Consulting, it never comes into fruition. I remember always having it as a thought as I was driving to work. What I wanted to do, that day trading part, just a thought, what I wanted to do. Forming our own business when me and my wife were in San Diego, California for 6 years. And not until we got here to Georgia did we take it, we planted it, that seed, we invested in it, we nurtured it. And here 2 years, December will be 3 years that we're doing it. And it's so much fun. Your masterpiece, it's your journey. Now, sometimes we hold back because we think that the masterpiece has to be perfect. Look at me. Far from it. But each day I think I'm the best thing, boom, 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 on the face of this planet. Standing next to some of the grades, depending on what it is that you do. But masterpieces are messy. They evolve, they stretch, and then guess what? They grow. Can you imagine little Chauncey, learning how to walk, learning how to talk, learning how to do these things. I didn't know this would evolve into this. I didn't know that I was stretching to this 6'2" frame. I did not know that I would grow with the thought and the desire to touch other lives. You know, you don't have to be polished to be powerful. Just be present, be the real you, the real McCoy, realize that real McCoy, if you study that, the history of truly a person named the real McCoy, African American man that used to make some really exquisite pieces. And then most people came to say, is that the real McCoy? Your own research. I ain't gonna go deep into that one. Let your ability flow through the cracks and imperfections. That's what really connects with people. That's what people connect to one another. Man, I still think about our events on Saturday and Sunday. We made some strong connections. Hope that I can tap into that with other people. And what ends up happening once you start doing that, that's how you begin to create something that's eternal. It's going to be something when others, you sit around and you share your stories and you talk about the things that you do. Someone may soon enough say, how did you do that? And guess what? It's no longer just content. It becomes things that are impacting the world. We see the things that are impacting the world now. And China, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, they're pulling that curtain back and are showcasing what so many people have led us to believe that they've done toil, sweat, and tears, but they're producing it with. And if you look at 90% of the stuff that you have, whether it's clothes, whether it's this cup of coffee, when I look on the bottom, guess what it says? Made in China. But this is a Starbucks collection cup. And they made them for every state. Nothing wrong with Starbucks. But why you gotta charge me $20 for a cup when it was made in China for just maybe a few dollars? But those are agreed upon things. Again, don't want to get in depth. When you become aware, you share, and you open the eyes to others. So many can do it better than I can. But here's what I want to do in closing. So I'll ask you again. Are you ready to let your ability be taken? Are you willing to surrender your talents to something bigger other than your ego? Let it be taken by mission, by love, by service, by that wild dream you've been sitting on for years. That's what YouTube's here about. The world is listening, and you're that voice. You're unique, you're beautiful, you have that raw talent within you. Your voice is that. Boom. Using it will blow you away. Could the one that helps you someday breathe life into you again? So, what I always encourage, if you're a small YouTube content creator or even a large one, press record, press upload. Let's go get it. You already know my motto: honor yourself so you can honor others. Love yourself. and you will learn how to love others and respect yourself. Because when you do that, you can begin to respect others. And as my mentor, Robin Sharma, would say, when you own your morning, you will elevate your life. Love you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, and share this with others. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.